In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on November 27, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Portland versus Michigan State. The Portland Pilots will be going for their 2nd consecutive win when they face the Michigan State Spartans in the 5th place game of the Phil Knight Invitational on Sunday night. The Pilots are coming off an 83-71 win over Villanova as 6.5-point underdogs. The Spartans are coming off a 74-70 win over Oregon as 3.5-point favorites. Michigan State won the lone meeting between the two teams. Portland is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 neutral site games and 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games following an against the spread win. The over is 11-5 in Portland's last 16 games, and the over is 22-9 in their last 31 neutral site games. Michigan State is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 neutral site games and 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games following an against the spread win. The over is 4-0 in Michigan State's last 4 games, and the over is 6-1 in their last 7 neutral site games. Michigan State is missing a couple of their key players, but still managed to defeat Oregon by 4 points in their last game. The Spartans are definitely battle-tested after playing Gonzaga, Kentucky, Villanova, Alabama, and Oregon so far this season. Portland is off a big victory against Villanova, but the Wildcats were in a bad spot after losing a tough overtime game to Iowa State before playing the Pilots. Michigan State should be focused here, and even though this is essentially a home game for Portland, the Spartans have been in good form. The Pilots have been inconsistent defensively this year, giving up 80 points to Seattle U and 77 points to Kent State. Michigan State should be able to score easily. The Pilots also prefer to play fast, and Michigan State likes up-tempo games as well. Portland has played well in their last 2 games, but I don't think they can hang with the Spartans in the game. So the Michigan State Spartans to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both of these teams prefer to play up-tempo. This should be a fast-paced game. Portland has also struggled defensively. The Pilots gave up 80 points to Seattle U, 77 points to Kent State, and 89 points to North Carolina. Seattle U also shot 53.2% from the field and 38.5% from 3-point range. Kent State shot over 50% from 2-point range against the Pilots as well. Michigan State is a strong defensive team, but both teams in this matchup prefer to push the pace. This should be a higher scoring game. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Gonzaga versus Xavier. The Gonzaga Bulldogs, fresh off of their 2nd loss of the season, will play in the 3rd place game on Sunday against Xavier, who fell to Duke on Friday night. Gonzaga is now 4-2 on the season, while the Musketeers of Xavier are also 4-2. The Musketeers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 Sunday games and 3-0 against the spread in their last 4 games following against the spread loss. The Bulldogs are 1-7 against the spread in their last 9 neutral site games and 2-9 against the spread in their last 12 games overall. The over is 8-1 in Musketeers' last 9 overall. The over is 7-3 in Bulldogs' last 10 overall. The assist-to-turnover ratio shows the ability of an offense and how good they are. The Bulldogs are 160th in the sport with a 0.9 ratio so far this season, while the Musketeers are currently 42nd in the country with a 1.3 ratio thus far. The defense also shows us here the slight difference, as Xavier is giving up 73 points per game, while Gonzaga is allowing 74 points per game thus far. I'm not ready to hit the panic button with the Gonzaga Bulldogs, but they're looking funny in the light through 6 games. The Xavier Musketeers are a club that can fill it up offensively, and they've taken Indiana and Duke down to the wire already this season. I wouldn't be shocked if this is another close game. So the Xavier Musketeers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both programs are definitely pushing the pace to open the year, as Gonzaga is 52nd in the country with 75.4 possessions per game, while Xavier is 91st with 74 possessions per game up to this point. The ability to shoot the three ball is critical, and both programs have been dominant, as the Musketeers are 4th in the NCAA with a 44.9 percentage from beyond the arc, while the Bulldogs are 48th in the sport with a 38 three-point percentage so far. The over has hit in 7 of the previous 10 Bulldogs games, as well as 8 of the last 9 Musketeers games. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Iowa State versus Connecticut. The Iowa State Cyclones will be trying to pick up their second straight win over a ranked team when they face the UConn Huskies in the championship game of the Phil Knight Invitational on Sunday night. The Cyclones are coming off a 70-65 win over North Carolina as 5.5-point underdogs. The Huskies are coming off an 82-67 win over Alabama as 2-point underdogs. Iowa State and North Carolina split their last 2 meetings. UConn is 6-0-1 against the spread in their last 7 games. Iowa State is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. The over is 4-0 in the Huskies' last 4 games. The under is 8-1 in the Cyclones' last 9 games overall. The Iowa State Cyclones face off with the UConn Huskies late Sunday night in the championship of the Phil Knight Invitational. Both teams come into this game undefeated and with an impressive path to this championship game. UConn comfortably beat both Oregon and Alabama. Iowa State slipped past Villanova and then shocked number 1 North Carolina. Iowa State is the surprise team here, and prior to this tournament, not much was known about them. The Cyclones lost their 3 leading scorers from last year, and even though they added a lot in the transfer portal, they are still picked to finish in the middle of the pack in the loaded Big 12. But remember that coach T.J. Otzelberger did a similar thing last season when he snuck his team into the top 10 out of virtually nowhere. Most notably for this game, the Cyclones handled Armando Bacot of UNC just fine, limiting him to a manageable 13 points and 9 rebounds. UConn is built around a similar big man in Adama Sanogo, and the Cyclones will need a similar defensive performance Sunday night. UConn should not be a surprise here. Dan Hurley's team is deep and talented, led by Sanogo, who is a frontrunner for Big East Player of the Year. They will mostly play with 4 guards around him, and those guards are really good too. With the ability to go 10 players deep, UConn can play multiple styles. Against Oregon, who has a large front court but is dealing with a thin backcourt at the moment, the Huskies put on a show from beyond the arc. Against Alabama, who is undersized, Sanogo led the way with 25 points. Learn this UConn team, because you can probably profit off of them all season long in the Big East. How will this game go? I like both of these teams, and I do not think Iowa State is a fluke. I think they are a team we just didn't yet realize was this good. Whoever wins this game, 5.5 points is too much for me. I see every reason to expect a close game, so give me the points with the Cyclones. So the Iowa State Cyclones to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both of these teams are in good form, and Iowa State and UConn have each been very good defensive teams so far this season. This will be both teams' 3rd game in less than 5 days. The tempo should also be slower. Close games tend to be lower scoring since teams tend to play slower the closer the score is, and both of these teams come into this matchup undefeated. This should be a slower tempo game that is lower scoring. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.